Hi, my name is Bob Hill, and I'm here from the Church of Scientology, Mission of Riverdale, at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto. This is Sunday Service 64. Now we're going to call this one the environment. Ontario, which is the province I live in, has some beautiful places to explore and enjoy. And with the restrictions being lifted, you may want to, take the opportunity to get outside of the city or the town you live in and explore what it has to offer and see what you can see. Now, the reason why I thought I'd do this one is recently I've taken the advantage and I've gone into the far north, and I've gone not so far north but up into hiking trails on the Niagara area. And it's important that we take care of the environment and that we don't throw our coffee cups on the sides of the road, or as you're walking down the trail, you pull it, you have a power bar or you have a snack of some sort and you throw the paper down. We don't need to do that. And if we can somehow safeguard and improve the environment, we can keep the beauty that we know as our country. Now, our sermon is based on the book, The Way to Happiness. And this was written by L. Ron Hubbard in 1981. And we're going to take up chapter 12 of the book. And it's called Safeguard and Improve Your Environment. Now, the book, The Way to Happiness, was a simple handbook that Hubbard wrote in 81. In fact, it was one of the last books that he wrote. And it was to give people kind of a guidebook on how to go along in life. It's not a religious text per se, but it does give you some simple things that you can follow, which will help improve your life. So here we go. So chapter 12, Way to Happiness, Safeguard and Improve Your Environment. The idea that one has a share in the planet and that one can and should help care for it may seem very large and to some degree quite beyond reality. But today, what happens on the other side of the world, even so far away, can affect what happens in your own home. Now, an example of that would be the concept of, let's say, you throw plastic bottles into Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario sends the plastic bottle into the St. Lawrence River. The Great Lakes feed into the St. Lawrence. The St. Lawrence takes that fresh water, sends it out into the ocean, and away goes your plastic bottle. And some unsuspecting fish find that they're surrounded by millions of plastic bottles that take a long time to break down. And while they're breaking down, they send pollutants into the water and it kills off the fish. You decide one day you'd like to have some fish to eat in your home, but the fish stocks are down because of the pollutants. You contributed to it, so there goes your cod dinner. Recent discoveries by space probes to Venus have shown that our own world could be deteriorated to a point where it could no longer support life. And it possibly could happen in one's own lifetime. Cut down too many forests, foul too many rivers and seas, mess up the atmosphere, and we've had it. The surface temperature can go roasting hot, the rain can turn to sulfuric acid, all living things could die, which would not be a good situation. Again, your simple actions can change that. One could ask, even if that were true, what could I do about it? Well, even if one were simply to frown when people do things to mess up the planet, one would be doing something that it was just not a good thing to wreck the planet in the first place, and mention that opinion. One would be doing something. Now, I'm going to give you a simple example. Recently, I was in the far north up what's called in the Arctic watershed. And I was with my son-in-law, or actually, yeah, my son-in-law. And we were on a fishing trip, and we were in pristine country. And we came to the end of a logging road, and he stopped the vehicle suddenly. He gets out. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Didn't you see it?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "Some idiot threw a coffee cup on the ground and left it there." So his simple action was he got out, picked up the coffee cup, put it in our truck in a garbage bag so it could be disposed of correctly. But I found that interesting to that degree. Now, imagine if 30 million people a day did that simple action in this country. How much garbage would get picked up? Well, at least 30 million coffee cups, or at least 30 million pieces of garbage, far less than what goes into the ecosystem. So there you are. Care of the planet begins in one's own front yard. It extends through the area one travels to get to school or work. It covers such places as where one picnics or goes on vacation. Now, when we say your own backyard, let's take your own backyard as an example. What could you do? Well, we know that certain pesticides and certain things that you throw on the grass to make it grow better and kill the weeds, that gets put on lawns and so on, but it also affects the birds and the rabbits that may go in your backyard. So I'll take my own property, for example. We won't allow on our property any pesticides or anything. And we have an abundance of animals and birds that hang around in our backyard. And I can look out my window and I can see 7 different breeds of birds. Sometimes in the morning there's a few rabbits running around, but they eat the vegetation in my backyard. And it doesn't hurt them because I don't put pesticides on it. And that's one thing you could do right there. So you might have a few dandelions in the spring. Big deal, dig them up, pull them out of the ground. That's a simple action. The litter which messes up the terrain and water supply, the dead brush which invites wildfires, these are things one need not contribute to, and which in otherwise idle moments one can do something about. Planting a tree may seem little enough, but it is something. Now, a simple thing like that, by planting a tree, you're putting more oxygen in the environment. Try it. Try it. Like, leave the city you're living in, go up north, even an hour out of the city of Toronto, go into the forest and see if it's easier for you to breathe. You'll find there's plenty more oxygen there. There's no lack of technology, but technology and its application costs money. Money is available when sensible economic policies which do not penalize everyone, are followed. Such policies exist. Surprisingly, in our country, the government will actually support things to clean up the environment. So, you can find policies that will back it up. There are many things one can do to help take care of the planet. They begin with the idea that one should. They progress with suggesting to others they should. Man has gotten up to the potential of destroying the planet. He must be pushed on up to the capability and actions of saving it. It is, after all, what we're standing on. So, you stand on it, you may be sitting on it right now, but it is our planet, and it is your planet. And it's important that we all do our part to safeguard improvement. If others do not help safeguard and improve the environment, the way to happiness could have no roadbed to travel on at all. So there you go. That's today's sermon. I hope you would agree with me on those points. I hope you would try to do those things. And with that, I'll end with the prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe, and may others also reach this understanding, which brings total freedom. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights will be preserved so that people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like, and freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness that is total freedom. May God let it be so. That's today's sermon. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening. Safeguard and improve the environment. When you go for your walk today or you go outside, you see a piece of garbage, pick it up, throw it in the garbage can. Look at that. You did something. Have a great day.